I'm here with a paper. It's a mail correspondence I had with Sooam Biotech Research Foundation. That was very interesting because I asked some questions about if I should have a clone from my old dog, what would happen, and how about the mother of this clone. And I asked the questions I also asked the Danish Television about. For instance, where does she come from? How will she give birth, or would she have cesarean and all that? And you gave me some answers about they'll be taken care of, they're very healthy, and they'll get medical care and things that we heard on the Danish Television too. And I had some correspondences, you could see it's quite a lot actually. And I asked again some details about it, but I didn't get so many answers. But you invited me actually to come and see your laboratory, so I could be sure that the dogs were all right in the laboratory. And some other rich people, mostly Americans, had done that before they took their final decision. And unfortunately at that time I just couldn't afford just to go there, but actually now I would really like to see it. I would like to see everything. I would love to see where does the mother come from? How many mothers do you use? I would like to see the puppy mills they come from, and how you get them, how they are raised before they are mothers, and how you transport them, and how you take them into surgery, and how you take care of the puppies, and how they are they coming out naturally, or do they come out with cesarean, and how do you take care of them if it's cesarean, if it's natural birth, and all that. I really like to go into details with you. And I would also like to discuss how they grow up and what happens to the mother afterwards when she is walking around in a farm. Is she going back to be a breeder's dog, or is she going to be eaten at your restaurants in Korea, or whatever? I'm really just so curious, and I'll accept that invitation now, and I think I'll try and collect money for the trip. Then I would like to discuss with your priest too, that was shown on the television. You talk about having God's tools. You just work with that God has given to you, a mother and a womb and some cells. That's all natural, you don't manipulate that. But then I would ask you how honorable it is to use the surrogate mothers. Do they have any feelings, or do they feel pain, or do they have anything else than medical care that they might need to have a good life? I would like to ask about your culture and how you can have a lot of philosophy about life and creatures and respecting life. And I'd like to understand how you can use thousands of dogs and to make clones. I'd like to know if you do it for your honor or religion, or if it's a commercial business. Maybe it's many things, but I'm very curious now. As you could have had a clone tissue from my old cadeau, Shetland sheepdog. It might have been reality, and then I should have had a puppy by now. A puppy grown up in your laboratory. And I remember I had some thoughts about what is a Shetland sheepdog actually doing in a laboratory. It's a shepherd's dog running around, and he has been doing that for 13 years, running out in the green fields and open air, and I would like to know what kind of life the adopted mothers are having, except walking around. So I'm curious to know if we should make an appointment, and I'll come to Korea. The surrogate mothers that are adopted, living in your farms, I would like to know how they are dealt with when you feed them. We are told in the television that they are not used to people. They are afraid of people. So I would like to know how you activate them, because normally we activate our dogs with going for walks and training them and doing things with them. What are these dogs doing? Your surrogate mothers, are they walking around in the yard, or is other activity happening for them the whole life? And how will their life end? If I had an adopted dog, maybe I would like to come and say goodbye to it before I went to sleep, and bury it. Or that's how we do in our culture with our dogs. So if I have a thought of cloning my dog, I need to know if there are more things you need to tell me about the dogs in the yard. The surrogate mothers that are not adopted, I would of course also like to know what's happening to them. We were told they are returned for breeding, and I asked myself, can they be used for breeding when they have been caught in and had puppies already at a laboratory? But anyway, I like to follow their destiny, because that's my interest. It's my organization, Who Cares? It's my organization's deepest interest. It's to open the Pandora's box and see what's happening to the hidden dogs. And I have a feeling that the surrogate mothers that are not adopted, it's the most hidden dogs. But since you invited me, you have to know that that's my deepest concern and interest, is to get the details about them and see, and if they are returned to the farms where they are sitting in a very little cage, how long are they sitting there, and when they are killed, as I expect they might be, how do you do that? How do you transport them? How do you kill them? And how are they sliced? How do they look at the restaurant?